Let's now import our character. We are going to go back in Blender and we're going to turn off the World 1.1 scene collection, and we are going to go under animation and we're going to click on character, and we are having a glimpse of our little guy here. First, what we're going to do, we are going to take care of the little guy, and after that we are going to take care of importing all those different animation. We got a jump animation, we got a walk animation, and an idle animation. First, we're going to bring him in. His identifier, his material identifier is car underscore, so we're going to create a new quick preset to link actually its base color and his normal map. Basically what we're going to do, similar way that we did for the plain solid material, we are going to basically tweak the textured shader that was textured material that was used by the NRG sandbox to draw the floor, which is a combination of base color and normal map. And we are, to do that, we're going to select the skeleton, and we're also going to import the skeleton at the same time to have him in T pose. So we're going to select the skeleton and we're going to select our little guy. And here under scene, we are going to make sure that we are importing no animation here. So I am going to go under File, Export, Kaleda, and I'm going to overwrite my MicroLand and a selection only, and triangulate and apply viewport modifier, export that. So I got my little guy and its skeleton that are exported. Back to my NRG editor, I'm going to enter again edit mode by pressing Shift and 2 this time, and I am going to go under MicroLand with my asset list selected, and I'm going to go under import and MicroLand, open that up. I will import the geometry, and for materials I'm going to create a new preset that I'm going to call character, and his identifier will be car underscore. And now let's stop that and open up the template for the textured material. So I'm going to go under properties and material and click here and type TEX for textured. And this is the way the textured material for the floor and the sandbox is built. So I'm going to go back here and select my asset list, asset import, MicroLand, open up, and just finish where we left off. Character here. For the shader is going to be the textured shader as it is indicated here. Textured, the script, set uniform, just like the other one here. And we are having two cube maps, same thing, irradiance, radiance, cube map, and a shadow map, and then two other texture for the base color and the normal. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. And we are going to go search our irradiance. We are going to go search our radiance, irradiance and radiance. Yes. And shadow map, just to confirm, SHA, that's our shadow map. And now we are going to basically use the default one here. The little file icon is basically for this, is working the same way as the identifier. In the Kaleda file that I've been exported, we have already the base color. If you check the MicroLand directory, you're going to see that we got the name of our little guy underscore base color.png, and we got another file that is the name of the little guy underscore normal.png. And basically we're going to create a rule to extract that file name and then append a specific identifier. So in this case, it's going to be base color, and it's going to be underscore normal. So like that, we can create an infinity of rule that allow us to bring in different type of map based on a specific identifier, both coming from the material or basically the texture, the actual PNG file or JPEG or whatever you're using, the actual texture file name. So this is what we're going to do here. And animations, no. Skeletons this time, yes. And visual scenes, I'm going to repeat the process, right depth for casting shadow, and geometry for shading. This time I'm not going to click on scan for existing assets because it's not going to connect to anything. I'm going to import that. I'm going to optimize my character, and right now he is located right here. If I go on the outliner, hold shift and scroll down with right mouse click to speed up, I am having my character controller and I am having my character. It is an empty object that is just and we're going to reuse that later on to implement physics. So I'm going to select my character controller. It's pretty standard. Every time you export a skeleton with a attached to a mesh, you're going to end up with an empty object most of the time, based on, at least with Blender. The other ones, I can't guarantee for sure. I don't remember. So anyway, I'm going to select the character controller here, and I am going to unclick that because I don't want it to be static. I want it to be dynamic, and I'm going to hold the grab button with my viewport selected. I'm going to hold the grab button, and I'm going to go place my little guy right in front of if I push dot to select, oh, I am way off because I go up. I am going to go back in my view here, and I am going to go here and select the grab button. I shouldn't have go at the top view. Here we go. So I'm going to place my little guy right on top of the start flag. I'm going to adjust him a bit here by dragging the manipulator. He's basically centered. So he is in place, and I am going to be ready to start working on it. I'm going to implement now the physics for each and every object in the scene. I am first, before closing this session, I am going to actually separate the empty object from my little guy. So with my character here, I'm simply going to click here because we got a parent relationship here. I'm going to simply click on it to make it as a standalone object. And with my character controller selected, I'm going to go under properties and object, and I'm going to reset the scale here, which is pretty small. And like that, we're having a better visual representation of our empty object to start working with. So in the next session, we are going to tackle the physics of this world. I am now going to set up the physics. I am going to go under properties and application, and I'm going to turn off the default controller here, as it might clash when I am viewing. So I am first going to start off by setting up the collision map. So I'm going to click on the collision map here, and you can see that all our first world is basically mapped. And I'm going to go under object first, and I'm going to turn off that this guy is not going to be draw on the right depth render layer. I don't want my collision map to cast or receive any shadow. So I'm going to next click on physics properties and add physics, static, add collider, and triangle mesh. Done. I have my whole map of my first world that is now properly set. There is a few objects that are not part of the map that I would like my little guy to be able to jump on and walk on, such as the rock here. So I'm going to select the rock. I'm going to go under add physics, static, add collider, triangle mesh. And there's this little bump here. I'm going to repeat the same process. Add physics, static, add collider, triangle mesh. There is another one here. Focus it by clicking dot. Add physics, static, add collider, triangle mesh. And there's a little hidden rock here in case during the level, during the gameplay, we fall down here, we can come back quickly up there. So add physics, static, add collider, triangle mesh. Done. We have basically all our world that is there. I'm also going to add, just for the sake of it, that my two flags here and the start flag and the end flag here also have physics. So I'm going to click on my flag, add physics static, and this time I'm going to select a cylinder. And I also might want to add cylinder on these trees here, as I noticed. So basically, I got my flag here. I am going to go under settings, and I'm going to tune down the radius. And if I look at it from the side here by pushing 3, go back up. I am going to click here to create a compound shape to basically reset back the pivot point to 0. Or I might not even do that. Just increase the height here just to have it. It doesn't really matter if it goes like above, just like that. So at least I got my flag. My little guy will not be able to pass through the flag. I'm going to repeat the same process for the tree here and for all the trees. So I'm going to say add physics, static, add collider, cylinder, and I'm going to push 3 to have a better side view. And I'm going to go under settings, and I'm going to lower down the radius to be about the same size as the trunk. So I will not pass right through it here. if I drag using my right mouse button, about that, I'm going to increase also the radius. So I got this guy that is set. Maybe make it a little bit bigger here. There you go, just to be safe. And we're going to repeat the process for our other trees. Add physics static and add collider. Cylinder, push 3. And I am going to now speed up the video and do all these 3 and the last flag. And we are going to come back in a moment. And we are back. Basically what I've done is I browse around the scene and select each and every tree and use 1 to go on the top view and basically try to make the physics collider as tight as possible near the trunk of the tree so my little guy is not going to pass through it. So you might have also noticed that there are 4 platforms here that did not have any physics set up. So basically what we're going to do is we are going to implement physics when we are going to handle the logic part of the game, because this game needs to have a goal. So we are going to left these for later, as we're going to also animate them. So next we're going to run a few visual tweaks, since now we have all our scene set up, and we are going to proceed by coding our character controller.